You make your own choices. Hate what is wrong. Heroin, hate it. You follow? Crack, hate it. Alcohol, hate it. White imprisonment, hate it. Whitewash mentality, hate it. Well, I don't want to. You gonna mess them kids' head up. No principles. Go out there and just be whatever you can be, and you end up in the army being all that you can be, like you wasn't all that you were before you joined. You mean all I could be is blew up by a goddamn landmine fighting a war that I didn't know? That's all I could be, huh? He's blown to fucking smithereens. Wow, that's scary. Come be all that you can be. Well, he really don't think much of us. Saying this is all that you can be. Now you go stand on that landmine before I get there, nigga. The point is, work. So when people come inside of what we're doing, we start putting the work in. It's going to take security. How you going to have a nation without having a security force? How are we going to have a nation without getting out information to reach our people on a massive level, to constantly reach them day to day? How are we going to do it? It's not going to happen. So where the people are not to do the work, the nation doesn't happen. And for some, nation building is which is why the people from the 60s and 70s became politicians, Jesse Jackson and Bobby Rush. Because it was like what Dr. Martin Luther King saw. It was a promised land. Somewhere where you ain't got to do nothing. That's what I think when I think of a promised land. You go to the mountaintop and you just sit there. What do you really do on a mountaintop? What could you do on a mountaintop? A thin-ass mountaintop. So their whole idea of revolution is a place you get to where you ain't got to do nothing. And freedom is when you outwork those who are against you in your objectives. Am I correct? Yeah. Freedom is when you what? Because if you're sleeping and they're killing, you're dead. If you're standing on post and they're killing, they're dead. So your freedom to live, your freedom to do, be, and have is only when you have outworked those who are against you. It's not no Hippieville where you go sit in the grass and just lay back in the grass eating mangoes. They're going to do you like the Native Americans did. They're going to come in that grass and snatch your ass out of it. This is a fact. Freedom is when we can outwork those who would take it from us. That's freedom. So it's a new work ethic. And we talk about militancy, and a lot of times people see militancy as just being in the army. But people only go to the army for a little while. For a few years. They retire. Average person is not going to be in the army for the rest of their life due to statistics. When we talk about militants, we're talking about a way of life. It's not an army. It cannot be looked at as the white man's army. Because for one, you have very little liability in the white man's army. That's his thing. It's not like being in the white man's army. It's a life of militants. You don't just have a uniform and listen to these officers. Everything you do is militant. Everything you do is secure. Armies, soldiers, they can go off base as long as they fight the white man's agenda. They can drink all the alcohol and do all the drugs they want to do. Am I correct? They can kill themselves. As long as they get in there and follow the white man's agenda. Well, so how can we compare what we're doing to the white man's army? The only thing we can compare this to is the revolutionary transformation that happened in America when they got their independence. Because they had to live a revolutionary way. It wasn't just an army, it was a revolutionary way of life. Freedom is a revolutionary way of life. You don't need an army for revolution. I'm about to throw some people off right now, because this is going to hit them hard. You might need an army to take somebody's shit. But revolution, you need a complete constructive change of the minds, hearts, and the people. The white man don't need that to get us to fight for his army. He don't need no constructive change. All you got to do is hand out some free college tuition money, right? He's not fighting a revolution. He's bullying, practicing gangsterism. He don't even really want world change. He wants the spoils. He wants the goods. He wants their oils. He wants the shit they have. That's not revolution. So an army and a revolutionary party is nothing. An army compared to a revolution, it's like a gang compared to samurais. That's the difference between the white man's army and a revolutionary army. To summarize, a way of life. China, way of life. The Arab, Islam, way of life. The white man, gangbanging. With better guns, better uniforms, better equipment. You can't have a revolution without principles. The only thing the white man is about is greed. He don't have no principles. Principles of democracy. The white man doesn't deal with democracy. He deal with the mob that's crazy enough to take your shit. There's no way you can achieve democracy outnumbered. There's no fairness in democracy when you are the minority. This is a fact. If the majority of people are white, you ain't got nothing common. They outvoted your ass. So, but he's not pushing democracy. His democracy is a scapegoat for his justification for bullying, for getting your material and your wealth. Say, well, we all agree. Y'all all agree, right? Well, let's take your shit. I don't agree with you taking my shit. Do that count? No, we've all voted that your shit get taken. You follow? That the group is somehow right. Forget principles. Knowing that they can influence the group and persuade the group to what they want them to think. And that doesn't make them right. We see that with jurors all the time. Just because the jury voted a person said they're guilty don't mean they did it. That's where democracy fails. What if the person didn't do it? Mumia. Then the jury, everybody said, but you were judged by a jury of your own peers. Peers how? Did we all hang out at the pier together? None of these juries are never nobody's goddamn peers. If you did not grow up with me in my hood, in my school, in my situation, 100%, how the hell are you my peer? If you're going to be my peer, you should look at my high school book, right, at least. Huh? And find out my graduating class. And then call them in, and then that'll be my peer. But you don't do that. You get a Mexican up there, talking about that's a minority. You know what I'm saying? A few mulattoes. They say that's your peers. So my point is they're not spreading democracy. They're about greed. So an army and a revolutionary group is two different. It's two different things. Because revolution is in the hearts of the people. The people going over killing the Arabs, that's not in their hearts. They're bullied into do that. It's just different levels of bullying. We bully you to go over there. You bully them. They bully us to get you to go over there. And it's just like a big-ass bully system where everybody eats at the end of the day. Because the way revolutionaries won wars, if you study history, they didn't have to bully one another. It was in the hearts of all the people. They wanted to do this. The white man got to demoralize you, tear you down, and make you nothing. He had to bully you totally and destroy your complete sense of self and then make you up a false one that he puts in you in order to fight for him. He must turn you into his robots. And we know robots don't have compassion, which is why they go and kill people and blow up people with no problem because they don't have no compassion. They're just robots. Then they get back home, even the white ones, and start crying about what they did. I didn't mean to do that, and you know, it was wrong, and I'm speaking against the war, and I was over there, we had no idea. Because it's a robot. So how do you go and compare something like black supremacy and revolutionary transformation to the white man's army? They don't go together. There's nothing in common with them whatsoever. The type of, when we use the word militant, we mean standing on the principles, uncompromising to the principles that bring about the transformation that we want to create in the world. We don't mean militant in a sense of military occupation on foreign people's territory. Because we in our own territory. Do you understand the point I make? So you see how these principles don't really, it doesn't fit for art. But we always try to do it because that's all that we know. And when somebody brings some other ideas contrary to the point, we cling to the white man stuff. Oh, it got to be like the military. Is it like the United States military? No, it's not like that. But when they lose, watch this. 100 years from now, and they're falling. They're falling as we speak. But 100 years from now, when they've completely lost, are they going to say, let's do it like the white man's military? Because now, us holding them so high, it's enslaving us. That's aggrandizing their world and what they created. So my point is, with black militancy, being a black militant is a way of life for man, woman, and child. To say no to the white man's subjugation, you follow, over our people. That's the militant attitude. No to their consumerism, their capitalism, their drugs, their alcohol, to their way of life that turns us against one another. No to their whole society and their reality. That's a militant attitude. Everyone in our community, in our society must achieve this. Not just a few people with some military uniforms on. That's not enough. Because until the majority of us stop loving his world in ours, then his world will die in ours. Do y'all follow what I'm saying? And that's our objective. Not to just run out on political issues. I run out and save you from police brutality, but you still let the police give you guns. You mad at the police for killing the people in your community, but the same police gave you guns to help build up your private drug economy. They gave you the guns, and now I'm going to come out like the Black Panthers and help you. You don't hate the white man. You're not militant. You follow what I'm saying? You're going to keep going on selling the drugs given to you by the white man, using the guns given to you by the white man, but you're mad when he come in your